What is going on, everybody? It's the Frost, and we are for Unscripted episode number 112 for you on March 22nd, 2020. As the world is falling around us still, we have to talk about the biggest news coming out of this past Monday. That WrestleMania will not be one night, it'll be two. It'll be at the Performance Center. It will be in front of no audience. And Vince McMahon is going to fight for his right to put on WrestleMania. And unfortunately, WrestleMania is going to be pre-recorded. Then WrestleMania is not going to be live. WrestleMania is going, the WrestleMania moments for Drew McIntyre, Rhea Ripley, Shayna Baszler are gone. And quite honestly, I don't think WWE is going to have many title changes. Rhea Ripley versus, I don't think you're going to have that match change. I don't think Drew McIntyre is beating Brock Lesnar. Because why would you have Brock Lesnar come into Orlando or wherever they're going to take this and have these two go at it and have Drew McIntyre have his big moments when nobody's there? Now, over the next few weeks, Raw, SmackDown, and apparently NXT, maybe just Raw and SmackDown. I don't know what's going on with NXT. I haven't heard anything, but NXT is looks like it's on hold outside of a clip show that they're going to do, I guess, every single week. Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, taped for the foreseeable future. But before we talk about any more of that, we need to talk about Braun Strowman, Evil Uno of the Dark Order of AEW, posted an Instagram, apparently, about supporting those in the independent scene, because AEW wrestlers, they probably have downside guarantees. They don't have to put on shows that they don't want to right now, but they're going to because they need to. But a lot of these independent guys, and this is what's going to suck with WrestleMania being postponed, not postponed, but being technically canceled in Tampa, and now it's going to be in the Performance Center. A lot of wrestling companies, like independent companies, they bankroll themselves and get themselves booked for WrestleMania weekend because it's going to be a full week from Monday Night Raw to NXT, which I'm pretty sure would have been not at the Performance Center for that last episode. They probably would have had it somewhere else, but for a week. An entire week. It's no longer WrestleMania weekend, it's WrestleMania week. You have WrestleCon, you have DCW, you have Bloodsport, you have Joey Janela doing his spring break. All these different shows going on around the same time at WrestleMania. You also have TakeOver, Hall of Fame, and WrestleMania itself. And now that is all gone, and most of these independent promotions who come together and convene in the area of WrestleMania, this is the highest drawing gate because there's going to be people in the arena, in the area. There's going to be fans who've never seen any of this stuff live. Oh, and of course AEW is not going to be there because AEW doesn't need to be there. They're the number two. Number two should not ever associate themselves with number one in any way, shape, or form. So, but having TNA, Impact Wrestling was going to do a flashback of sorts by having bringing back the TNA name for a one-night-only event. That is now gone. Ryan Zane of Wrestling with Regrets was going to have himself a showing of this movie he reviewed, just another crappy wrestling, in the wrestling show, movie, or whatever, romantic wrestling movie. So, a lot of these guys are hurting. Not being able to have their independent shows on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, mostly weekly basis. Everything going down, people being called to shut down and everything. And independent wrestling is going to be very, very bad in a bad way. But independent wrestling is going to be back on rocky legs before the big boom we've had, the big independent boom we've had over the last few years. Where you can actually make money on the independents. And one of those days, of course, was WrestleMania. One of those weeks was WrestleMania week. And now it's not going to happen. But Evil Uno put out a tweet or a thing asking people to help out independent wrestling. Braun Strowman, the asshole, and showing you why WWE will not get behind this guy, posted this. Here we go with more of the somebody pay my bills stuff. If you can't afford to pay your bills, maybe you should change professions. That's why I quit Strongman. I loved it, but I couldn't afford to live, so instead of making a GoFundMe or a Patreon wanting someone else to take care of me, I went out and worked harder than I ever have in my life to get where I am. What happened? To being accountable for your own actions. He continues. And for anyone that goes, that's easy for you to say you're in WWE Superstar. Just an FYI, 7 years ago, I moved to Florida with everything I owned in a Kia Soul with $150 to my name when I started this. Here's the thing, Braun. When you moved to Florida to work for WWE, you signed a contract 7 years ago in 2013 that most independent wrestlers would dream to make that money. You're not making WWE type money on the independent scene. Not everybody who is going to be good. Like, there are people out there who are good at what they do, who haven't been found yet because they're just starting out. The fact that you're going to sit there and go this obviously just shows that Braun Strowman, who was in the strongman game, has never been in the independent wrestling. He's never been there. This guy just showed, and we always wondered, why did WWE never give the ball to this guy? Why is he always a bridesmaid but never a bride? Shit like this. Immaturity like this. Jon Moxley apparently is helping fund independent wrestlers by donating to them. Mustafa Ali, when an independent wrestling promotion in Chicago did a stream a couple days ago, or on Friday or Thursday, for independent wrestling, and it was no fans around, and you could donate. Mustafa Ali went out there and said, "Hey, I'm going to promote this. I'm going to foot the bill for a lot of these guys on their first show, so they can continue to do this because this company wants to do these every single week, and the only way they're going to be able to do that is to have you guys go out there and donate." I think they should put it on YouTube and have people be able to do it that way and get yourself a YouTube channel up and going to where you could get donations that way instead of having to go through PayPal and stuff, because that can take a while. I mean, Wrestle Talk and Will Ospreay just Monday teamed up together to do No Fans Monday, and they hit it big. £9,000 for to split between every single person who were there for that show. So those people are going to be paid a good bit just to work one day, and that's good. That is great. But Braun Strowman would know nothing about the hardships of being an independent wrestler. He's been a WWE built wrestler for 7 years, making money that independent wrestlers wish they could make. But independent wrestlers can't make that money because they're not getting those big bucks. I know AEW has a set of Dark this week. Hopefully it's going to be Dark this week, and they have a couple independent wrestlers on those shows. They're doing more for the independent wrestlers than somebody like a Braun Strowman will do. Joe Janela was on that card for that. I think it was GCW something. I think it was. Yeah. Joe Janela was a part of that card. He did that. Like, clips were showing up all day, or all night, leading into SmackDown and doing SmackDown of a social distancing match where they would sit there and would do the moves, even though they weren't touching each other. So that was kind of funny. But Braun Strowman knows nothing about the hardships of being an independent wrestler. Strongman and being a strongman and being an independent wrestler are two totally different things. For him to sit out there, post this, which has been deleted by now, just shows you why WWE will never give this guy the shot, while WWE will never give this guy the Universal Championship or the WWE Championship. He should have never won the Intercontinental Championship because of his immaturity. Braun Strowman, of course, just like many others, was brought up way too early from the NXT ranks. Didn't even have a match on NXT. Didn't do much in NXT. They brought him up to be part of the Wyatt family, and he's been on the main roster ever since. And it shows multiple times in his actions that he is never going to be the Universal Champion. He is never going to be a main champion. He's lucky he got the Intercontinental title for a couple weeks. He'll never get it back. He was a transitional champion to get it off of Shinsuke Nakamura and to get it on Sami Zayn. And that's all he will ever be known for. This really makes Braun Strowman look like a piece of shit. Did he apologize? Fuck no, he didn't apologize. This guy wants to sit there and call fans marks and call and disrespect Luchasaurus by saying he's a dude, some dude in a dragon's mask. Well, Braun, Luchasaurus is 1,000 times more over than you have ever or ever will be. He is more agile. He is able to do more than you could ever do in a ring. Yes, when you had a match with the Big Show, you could pull out a couple cruiserweight style moves to pop the fans and pop people, but you can't do what Luchasaurus does. Luchasaurus is 3 times, 4 times, 5 times the professional wrestler you will ever be. Luchasaurus has a chance to eventually become an AEW heavyweight champion. You've had your chances at being world champion. Guess what? You floundered them away to where WWE cannot trust you. So you want to sit there and talk shit on independent wrestling, even though 95% of the people you work with today came from independent wrestling, just shows how much of a fucking idiot you are. Braun Strowman is a disrespectful piece of shit and has lost respect from every single person in the wrestling community. Braun Strowman should be ashamed of himself and should learn to actually spend some time watching some independent wrestling, seeing that this is where your future comes from. Not from the fucking Performance Center where, yes, they have some people out there in the Performance Center who possibly could be the next star or a next big guy. But guess what? That's highly unlikely. Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong all came before WWE. How about even the Velveteen Dream, Patrick Clark? He wasn't a big name, but he started off in professional wrestling in independence. So did Kushida, even though Kushida was in New Japan mostly. So did every single person, almost every single person that you work with is from professional wrestling, from the independents. AJ Styles. Roman Reigns, of course, not. Seth Rollins. Just more and more and more. This just makes Braun Strowman look like a fucking idiot. And you know what? This guy, Braun Strowman, if he actually had a smart head on his shoulders, could be one of the all-time greats. But he's just going to be remembered as a big asshole. When times are tough and times are down, professional wrestlers need to come together and show unity. And Braun Strowman just takes flips two birds to the entire professional wrestling world because he works for WWE and doesn't realize that WWE checks, WWE pays aren't everywhere. No matter what. The only 2 places in the United States to have that kind of money are AEW and WWE. That's it. Impact Wrestling wrestlers don't even make as much as what they make in AEW or WWE. It's just the truth. So for him to sit there and just act like, oh, if you can't make money as an independent wrestler, and you can't pay your bills as an independent wrestler, then you should change professions. Go fuck yourself, Braun Strowman. You're nothing but a selfish, self-centered piece of shit who would rather see the professional wrestling world on its knees than actually sit there and help. Go ask Mustafa Ali how disrespectful that was. Go ask Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro, everyone else in that fucking company who came from other places like a Ring of Honor, like ICW, anywhere that's independent wrestling, and you work with those who came from independent wrestling. You should actually have to face them and be like, hey, I didn't mean to disrespect you. Because you know what? You disrespect the entire roster from Kofi Kingston to Xavier Woods to Seth Rollins Buddy Murphy, Akam and Mazar, and so on and so forth. Outside of Big E, who really wasn't a professional wrestler, he was a guy. I'm not sure, but outside of him, Baron Corbin probably, and Roman Reigns, you pretty much disrespected your entire company, your entire like co-workers, every single one of them, because you don't get that professional wrestling. It's not that easy. Does Braun Strowman really think that everywhere in the world, if you're a professional wrestler, you make WWE money? Are you fucking kidding me? All the professional wrestlers, outside of those who are signed full-time to AEW or signed part-time to AEW, wishes they can make as much as you do. And don't give me this, oh, woe is me because I can't paint. He's like, just, he can sit there and say, oh, if you can't pay your bills, get a new profession. Go fuck off. That's it. Just go fuck off. I'm done talking about him. Let's talk about WrestleMania. Yes, it's going to be a 2-night affair. 2 nights of professional wrestling that's going to be taped over the next week. Last night, tonight, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. They're taping all the Raws, the SmackDowns, I think the NXTs could be wrong, and WrestleMania. So WWE is in this position where they're like, well, we have to make sure we can get WrestleMania done. We can have WrestleMania happen. So we are going to tape everything beforehand, which is fine. But if WrestleMania is to be taped in front of nobody, why don't you just postpone it? Just postpone it. There is no reason to have WrestleMania. No fans. Drew McIntyre wins the WWE Championship. He holds that title for once. That emotion should be there on his face. You should hear the crowd roaring. Nobody there. There's nobody there. You could see on the fucking video. There were people sitting there, like camera crews and people who had to be there to produce the show. They made them duck out of the way so you wouldn't see them. What the fuck? AEW made it work beautifully on Wednesday, having Colt Cabana, SCU, The Gun Club, MJF, Tully Blanchard, Wardlow, Sean Spears, Archer, Lance Archer, Jake the Snake Roberts, and so on and so forth, Sonny Kiss, all sitting on the opposite sides of each other, making noise, MJF just stealing the show and everything else. It was just some great shit. And then we go 2 days later, and WWE does the same thing they did last week, which last week I could give them a pass, because there was nothing they could do. There was nothing they could do. It was a day and a half. It was a day and a half after what happened, after they had Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa destroy the Performance Center. So WrestleMania, not live for the first time ever. The last time I believe they did a taped pay-per-view that wasn't, I don't count Insurrection and Rebellion because those were exclusive to Britain. The last time WWE did a taped pay-per-view, I believe, was SummerSlam 92 when Bret Hart lost the Intercontinental title to Davey Boy Smith. Here is we have 9 matches for WrestleMania right now. I said last week, 8 was fine. 8 was fine. We didn't need any more. Right now we have The Miz and John Morrison versus either The New Day or the Usos. We'll find that out here in a few days. Bayley versus Lacey Evans versus Dana Brooke versus Tamina versus Naomi versus Sasha Banks. Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins, AJ Styles versus The Undertaker, John Cena versus The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, Shitberg versus Roman Reigns, Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler, Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte, and Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre. Those are the matches right now. You are better off postponing this until all is clear, all is good again, and we can actually get back to a somewhat normal life, because honestly, Even after everything that happens and all this stuff goes down and eventually it calms down, because eventually it will, who's to say life in the United States is going to get any better? Who's to say that? We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how much better this is going to get, if this is ever going to get better. We just don't have a clue. And WWE, Vince McMahon is so proud of WrestleMania. He wants WrestleMania to be the biggest thing ever. This is not the way to do it. To have 9 matches at least. And Edge and Randy Orton's not on either, so that's 10. Edge and Randy Orton, because that's going to happen. That's 10 matches. 5 for Saturday, 5 for Sunday. What are they going to do? Add another 4 matches so you can have 7 for Sunday, and 7 for Saturday? That's ridiculous. I just have a feeling Vince McMahon's going to go, well, we have 2 days, we can have 14 matches, because we can put 7 on one side, 7 on the other. Nobody's going to want to watch this. Nobody's going to want to watch this. And honestly, I don't give a shit because it's WrestleMania and I really don't give a shit about WrestleMania. I'm spoiling WrestleMania and I don't give a fuck about it. WrestleMania is not like... I was looking forward to Blood and Guts coming up this Wednesday. Tony Khan put out a statement that Blood and Guts will not happen this week on Wednesday night because it's not the right time, it's not the right setting, it's not the right thing for the wrestlers and the fans. That match, I absolutely agree. Blood and Guts has been postponed for further notice, but WrestleMania is still going on a 2-night event, which is going to be taped. So my question is, why do they have to go 2 nights? If they're taping the damn show, they're not going to tape it all in one night. No fucking way. They're not going to tape it all at once. They're just not. But why the fuck did it matter what happens with WWE? Why does it fucking matter with WrestleMania? WrestleMania, you have all those big matches. Lesnar and Drew McIntyre. You can stretch that out. Undertaker and Drew and AJ Styles. You can stretch that out. The Universal title match. You can stretch those out. You don't have to do them because all the big matches have a part-timer who work 1, maybe 2 times a year. So why do you have to have those matches on April 4th and 5th? Why? WWE honestly could shut down their borders and say, you know what, we're going to do replays of classic Raws, always voted on by the fans in those time slots. Cut Raw down for an hour, I don't know, but do something other than what they're going to do. WrestleMania should be postponed if the MLB, the NBA, the XFL had to cancel their season 110% and finish after 5 weeks with no champion. I don't care what anyone says. The Houston Roughnecks are not the champions of the XFL Season 1 because they did not finish. There is no champion. That'd be like saying that the Toronto Raptors won the NBA championship last year and this pandemic thing happened and they had to cancel the season so the Toronto Raptors should be a 2-time champion. No, that's not how it works. If the XFL wants to be a legit company, a legit alternative, you don't say, well, we're just going to give the Houston Roughnecks the championship. You just don't do that. But the XFL shut down, canceled for this year. They'll be back next year. Hopefully with the 8 teams, there's rumors of them wanting to expand. We'll go into that eventually if those rumors start popping up. NBA, they shut down. Everything shut down. And yet, WWE and Vince McMahon refuses to postpone WrestleMania. If Double or Nothing was coming up next week, say Double or Nothing was coming up next week for whatever, they had it in March instead of May. I guarantee you Tony Khan will be like, Double or Nothing is going to be postponed until further notice. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. First off, the MGM is on shutdown for now. Hopefully it'll be back up in May. So, WWE wanting to tape WrestleMania makes no sense. The superstars of WWE want this to be a postponement. There is no reason to postpone this. I mean, not to postpone it. This WWE just makes no sense. And on top of that, WWE is trying to find. Here's the thing. Here's another kicker. WrestleMania is not only going to be taped, it's also going to be in multiple locations, allegedly. Where are you going to find another place to do this? The Performance Center is such an investment. I don't think they ever expected to have to use it for this kind of circumstances, but they had a nice investment for this. I mean, holy shit. The fact that this Performance Center, actually, if WWE didn't have this Performance Center, say this happened when the Performance Center opened in 2013, say this thing opened up, or this thing happened 8 years ago when there was no Performance Center, what would WWE do? They wouldn't have an option. The fact that they have this Performance Center, this is the best investment they have had in a long time, and it's going to pay. It pays off for them for sure. Just they got to postpone. There's just no reason to have the fact that you expect people to want to watch WrestleMania on 2 nights from the Performance Center, pre-taped, and also supposedly multiple locations, because that's going to get them away. That's going to get them away with they don't have as many people in the arena. But if they're going to pre-tape it, they don't even have to do multiple locations, because they could tape from 7 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock till 8 o'clock at night, and split it up over a few hours, bring people in and out as you go, and have the matches. You don't have to do the fucking thing in order. You don't. Have Brock Lesnar there. Have his match with Drew McIntyre be the very first thing you tape, and then you go from there. Not going to be that goddamn difficult. If you're going to go through this and tape WrestleMania, you don't even have to tape it one match after another, after another, after another. You can spend the entire day of 2-3 days taping all these matches and putting them in whatever fucking order you want to. Now, yes, most superstars, I don't know who, but there are those who want this to be postponed because, one, they do get paid a lot of money, but they do lose out on WrestleMania pay. 2, WrestleMania is mostly just the entrances, the spectacle, the seeing all this crowd when someone comes out for the first WrestleMania, and you can see it on them, just the fact that it hits them, and it's just, you see them you just see the way they react, or they you can just see the small little twitches in them and stuff when they go out there for the first time. Rhea Ripley was going to get that this year, Shayna Baszler was going to get that this year, Drew McIntyre in a main event spot was going to get that this year. All of it gone because of the scare tactic by the U.S. government and all the other governments in the world. Just, Vince McMahon is stubborn as hell. We know this. It just sucks that this is the way it's going to be. And there's nothing we can do about it. WWE, Vince McMahon is going to get his WrestleMania whether we want it to be this way or not. Whether the superstars want it this way or not. Vince McMahon gets his way because he's Vincent McMahon. He's Vincent Kennedy McMahon, does whatever the hell he wants. Just WWE should have taken those notes. And I don't want to hear anyone say, oh, well, WWE was told they're not allowed to have fans or have anybody at ringside. So why is AEW allowed to have people at ringside? Tony Khan doesn't own Dowley's Place. Dowley's Place belongs to the city of Jacksonville. I looked it up. It's owned by the city of Jacksonville. So why is WWE not allowed to have people in the crowd? But because it's the state of Florida, same state. If Florida says that you can only have essential personnel in the arena, which that's more than essential when you have most of your stars in the arena. Just WWE making no sense here. So they go through and they have a SmackDown. NXT didn't even try. NXT is on pause. I don't even think NXT is going to have anything going on. You know what's funny though? Had NXT not been put on the USA Network, NXT would have been midway through their build towards Tampa, and they would have had shows going all the way up to April 5th by now. April 4th by now, even though I'm pretty sure they would have stopped. I don't know if they would have stopped showing those on the network or not. But yeah, April 4th, They would have had the go home show and everything already taped in the middle of February. So NXT would have been actually something to watch from here until WrestleMania, even though none of it would have mattered by the end of the time. But WWE decided not to do that. But AEW just showing you how to do things. They had two big reveals that they had no choice but what to do. Could you imagine that pop Brody Lee would have got in Rochester, New York, had this show been able to be done in Rochester in front of pretty much an almost packed house? They would have been huge. AEW almost does $1 million on Wednesday. Just would have been so big for this guy. Brody Lee, as I said on Wednesday, is unproven as a guy who can lead because WWE has done so much irreversible damage to this guy that it's going to take a while for him to get the stink of WWE off of him, even though his promo and the post-match, the beatdown after the promo was actually pretty fucking good. But he still got that stench of WWE on him. Yes, I know Jon Moxley got that stench off of him right away. But that's different because Jon Moxley is a huge name. Brody Lee, I think being in Rochester would have helped nullify the stench of WWE off of him, but the fact that he was there, he got it done. Anybody's thinking, oh, Matt Hardy was supposed to be the Exalted One. No, that is not the case. It has been revealed that it was always going to be Brody Lee. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The minute WWE let Brody Lee go, the minute Luke Harper was removed from the world and Brody Lee was able to come back and talk to the Young Bucks, he might have been, there's a no compete clause, but I'm pretty sure he can sign a contract. But as soon as he was released from WWE, that's around the time the Exalted One was even mentioned. Matt Hardy was still on the contract till March, until this month. So having that happen, WWE pretty much just gave them the keys to an interesting storyline. And what happened? We have Brody Lee make his debut in the best possible way that they could under the circumstances. And boom, the dude had a hell of a debut. It just sucks that it couldn't be in front of his hometown. AEW did the best they could. And it's just not fair. It's not fair that these men and women out there who are going out there doing everything they can to give us a hell of a show. AEW hit 932,000 fans or views on Wednesday night. That's the highest they've had since January 15th, where they were at 940. Now, I'm surprised anybody watched NXT after the first 5 minutes. I mean, you had a clip, half the show on Wednesday night was Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa from the time they started till take over Portland. Everything that happened between those two. The fact that they were still able to manage 542,000 views is surprising. But AEW did a nice bounce back after being at 906,000 the week 2 weeks before. Then they dropped on the final live in front of an audience show because of everything that was going down. Trump was apparently talking on TV, yada yada yada, and here we are. Now, as I've stated, Blood and Guts has been postponed for the foreseeable future. The question is, when will that happen? I don't know. I'm pretty sure what we're going to see next week is coming Wednesday, is the parking lot brawl that Pentagon and Phoenix were challenged to by the best friends. The out of nowhere Luchasaurus versus Wardlow lumberjack match, why is this match happening? I don't remember Luchasaurus and Wardlow having much of a beef. A lumberjack match, which I'm not a big fan of lumberjack matches. I haven't seen one in AEW yet because they haven't had one. I'm skeptical on what AEW can do to actually make a lumberjack match worth it. Not a fan of them. It always ends the same in WWE. You have the two wrestlers go out there. They give you about 5-6 minutes of a okay, decent match. Someone getting thrown outside every once in a while. Then all hell breaks loose. Everyone's brawling on the outside. Everyone's brawling on the inside. It's all over the fucking place. And then the winner of the match rolls the other one up for the 1-2-3, or gets some kind of sneaky win that the opponent didn't see coming, and the match is over. That's how we get these every single time, and it's just not fun. Like I said, I'll give AEW the benefit of the doubt. We'll see what they can do with it. I don't know why these two were in a lumberjack match. It makes no booking sense to me, but I guess it's the best they could do. We'll see what happens with the next week. It is Wardlow's second match. I don't see him losing to Luchasaurus. Why would you have him lose? I can understand why he lost to Cody. That is fine. But I don't think he's going to lose to Luchasaurus, because Wardlow needs to win something, or why is he MJF's bodyguard? Why is MJF using a bot like Wardlow as his bodyguard when Wardlow would be a loser? So that is that. And of course they also advertised that Matt Hardy will be confronted by Le Champion Chris Jericho on Wednesday. So that just gets it more build for Blood and Guts. Blood and Guts actually gets a little bit more build going into whatever it's going to happen. If at all possible, they could possibly, whatever plans they had going into Double or Nothing should be out the window right now. If I'm AEW, I'm pushing this back. If they can fit a double cage in the MGM Grand, I don't know if they can or not. I'm pushing Blood and Guts back if I have to Double or Nothing. If that's the time that they can get it done, I would get it done then. It sucks that it couldn't be done when it was supposed to be done, but hey, the world went into a freaking panic, and that's what the government wants you to do. Just so you know, everybody, all that panic that you're giving out there, all that hoarding you're doing, all that mass hysteria you're allowing to happen, that's what the government wants. That's how they control us. That's how they make us their little puppets. That's how they get what they want. Who's to say everything that's going on right now, after it's over, we go back to just our normal lives? No matter what happens after this entire pandemic bullshit is over, which is being well overblown, I wouldn't surprise me if half of the things that happened in China were actually people dying from this virus, and it wasn't just people being shot or being killed just to boost their numbers. China doesn't wait. Anything come out of China, we don't believe it. Even though it's kind of funny, because everything that we get, everything that's made, everything that we use on a daily basis is from China mostly. Don't tell me you have something that's American made, like a tool or something, or like a game console, because that's bullshit. Because any American made console shit is trash compared to something that comes out of China. You like that Xbox? You like that Switch? You like that computer of yours? All made in China. But WWE, back to them for a minute. WWE, it's just so agonizing that we have to sit here and know that Wrestlemania, yes, I understand Vince McMahon wants Wrestlemania to be everything it can be. Why are you not postponing this then? WrestleMania can fucking wait. WrestleMania does not have to be on April 4th and 5th. If anything, you could have WrestleMania fused with SummerSlam, and you could call it SummerMania 2020. For 1 year only, SummerSlam, WrestleMania combined together for a 2-night extravaganza with matches on Saturday, matches on Sunday, no takeover there in Boston. I think they're in Boston. And we just go from there. But nope, Vince McMahon is hard set, even though I don't think there's a single fucking person in this goddamn world who would sit there and say, oh, Vince McMahon is soft, Vince McMahon is a piece of shit, he lied, I don't think anybody would blame Vince, blame the WWE if WrestleMania was to be postponed. No, there is no goddamn way WrestleMania is ever going to get canceled. Unless the FCC came in, or some kind of other organization outside of WWE came in or the President of the United States, or one of those organizations, the FBI or something, came in and said and did something to make sure WrestleMania had to be canceled. WrestleMania will never be canceled. There could be a zombie apocalypse. and you're damn straight WrestleMania is going to be going on from start to finish. Until either A, the show is over, or B, the zombies come in and kill each and every person in there. Now, it's just ironic how Vince McMahon could be alive to see the death of independent wrestling not once but twice. Vince McMahon had a part in killing wrestling outside of WWE once before, and this time it's not his fault. But it's like, could you imagine that independent wrestling since like 2000, since they started doing so much more better business than the last 4 or 5 years, and when independent wrestling started becoming somewhere that anybody could go out there, if you're good at what you do, could eventually start making money for yourself. Were you going to have a long-term deal like WWE where you could get paid to be a superstar? No. But you could still make a comfortable living. I wouldn't say comfortable living, but you could still make a living to where it's not, because most times independent wrestlers, a lot of them, if they don't make WWE by a certain time in their life, they have to retire because they're not going to make the money they can. If they don't make it to if they don't get that big shot that they hope to get if they go and apply their craft, they have to go find something else to do because independent wrestling is not going to be enough. And then you had Colt Cabana go out there and he started selling his own merch, having huge lines, and becoming a poster boy for how to make independent wrestling profitable for yourself. And Vince McMahon is going to see that all go away. Like I said, after all this stuff is done and over with, everything from the scare, from the assholes who go out there to a Family Dollar or a Family Tree and buy all the toilet paper and all that stuff because they're assholes. When all this is all said and done and we can finally get somewhere back to hopefully where we can be, it's going to be a while. Even, it takes years to build up a business. It takes years to build up trust in customers. It takes seconds to let it all crumble down. And that is what's happening with our country right now. And not just our country, but all over the world. You have small businesses, family-owned businesses that aren't essential that are being told you have to close down for now. When their rent's due for their building next month and they don't have the funds to pay for it, do you think that the landlord of their building is going to say, oh, well, this pandemic happened, I'll give you a month by? No. Fuck no. When the electric bills come up, and the cable bills come up, and the water bills come up, and the gas bills, or any other bill that you have come up, past due, and disconnection, do you think those companies are going to sit there and be like, oh, well, this pandemic's happened, it's not your fault? No, they're going to expect you to have your money ASAP. WrestleCon almost could have went bankrupt because the Marriott or wherever they were going to be hosting this year's WrestleCon tried to say that, hey, the deal we had in place is going to go through and you owe us this much money. And thank to Chris Jericho and all those who went out there and got the Marriott to eventually be like, you know what, I guess we have to, we're going to have to nullify this deal, so we're not going to hopefully kill your business. I don't know if WrestleCon's still going to be around. Hopefully it will be. But it wasn't bankrupt because of shady business practices and a pandemic that is way overblown. Way overblown. It's just kind of funny. I'm not going to get into political stuff or anything, but the pandemic is way overblown. So what are we going to be seeing over the next few weeks on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown? Because NXT I don't think is going to do anything. Why are they going to tape NXT? They have nothing to build to anymore. TakeOver has been canceled. TakeOver Tampa Bay, which I fucking love that goddamn logo. That was one of the best TakeOver logos we had. It was a skull, and it had the TakeOver thing. It just looks fucking badass. I don't have a picture of it on here right now, but it was such a good logo. And I couldn't wait to see Tampa Bay get a good takeover, as all takeovers have been good. But that's gone. So what does NXT have to build for? Nothing. Is it just going to be clip shows for the next few weeks? The biggest thing I want to know is, like, after WrestleMania, what if this is still going on? What if we're not cleared of this yet, which I hope we will be? But what if we're not clear of this? What is WWE going to do then? What if we get to WrestleMania and they do this whole thing, which I guarantee this is going to be the lowest watched WrestleMania in WWE history or wrestling history. This will be the lowest watched pay-per-view event ever. Because those spoilers are going to be out there. Those spoilers are going to be out there one way or another. Even though there's a closed set, they're still going to get out there. AEW had a closed set, and the spoilers for Dark got out there. The 4 matches they taped before, and the 4 matches they taped after last Wednesday's show got out there. So they may not be out yet, but before WrestleMania, everyone will know: did Drew McIntyre win the WWE Championship in front of an empty arena? Did Roman Reigns get his 5th coronation in front of an empty arena? I don't think either one of them are going to win the championships now. I think Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns are going to lose and get a rematch at SummerSlam. I think that's where this is going. Because why the fuck is Brock Lesnar, who is a businessman, going to want to even take part in this? You know how you get Vince McMahon to postpone WrestleMania? Brock Lesnar needs to be like, you know what? I'm not doing this like this. This is not good business practices. Why the fuck would I want to waste my time coming to Orlando in front of nobody to put your new shiny toy over? Why would he want to do that? So, my feeling is, same thing with the Universal Championship. Do you really think Roman Reigns is going to get that coronation at WrestleMania that Vince McMahon desperately wants to give him again? Does someone really need 5 coronations at a big event like WrestleMania to try and get over? The only benefit that WWE has for WrestleMania is the fact that if it's in a close set, Roman Reigns won't get booed, and the match won't get heavily booed. And Jessica Carr, please stop calling spots so goddamn loud. We can hear you on our TV. Why they're having this, like Jessica Carr, I never heard a spot called whatsoever in NXT. You heard it. There was a match, I think it was Lacey Evans versus Carmella. It was Carmella versus Naomi, I'm pretty sure, yeah. And all you hear is Jessica Carr towards the end of the match calling the spots loud enough to where the ring mics can pick it up. She was down in NXT. I don't think they have ring mics in NXT like they do on the main roster, so maybe she could get away with it down there. But she cannot be doing that. Now, when they tape WrestleMania, they can probably edit all that stuff out. The one thing I don't want to see is WWE come out there, have these empty arena shows, and then pipe in fan noise. Pipe in cheers or boos, directing the narrative. Oh, Roman won the championship. Where's this crowd coming from? I don't see anybody in the crowd. Why am I hearing crowd noises? It's just such a bad thing. And again, nobody's gonna blame WWE. It sucks. I'm hoping, I will say this, I'm hoping Russell Talk and Will Ospreay go well. Will Ospreay did say at the end of that No Fans Monday that they kind of enjoyed that. So I'm hoping as we get to Monday, maybe there's another chance that they could do another one with, I don't know, different wrestlers who need a little bit of help, and you can have people do the same thing, because that was cool. That was really awesome, and I'm glad that they did that, because something you could see, and they showed you how to do an empty arena show. Vince, take the fucking chairs out of the goddamn arena. I should not be seeing chairs where some people should be sitting. It really makes it look even worse. AEW had some chairs, but guess what? People were sitting in those chairs. How hard is it to take the chairs and fold them up and put them away? I mean, right? Come on. Come on, Vince. So WrestleMania is a 2-night event. No NXT TakeOver. The Hall of Fame is going to be pushed back to SummerSlam. That's fine. I'm fine with that. WWE just needs to rethink this shit. There is no reason whatsoever to have WWE WrestleMania. I wasn't there. Or PC Mania, if you want to call it that. I just don't get it. Why is Vince McMahon so goddamn stubborn? Why is Vince McMahon gotta be the one guy who has to keep himself busy? Keep his show running. Yes, it would be great to see. I mean, last week on Friday night, Triple H made that show way more enjoyable than it needed to be. Oh, by the way, ESPN over the next 3 Sundays is going to have a WrestleMania 31, 30, 33, and 35. And, here's my question is, why would you advertise that this coming Sunday or tonight that WrestleMania is going to be streaming or be shown on ESPN at 7 o'clock, and then on Friday for a quarter of the show us John Cena versus Bray Wyatt from that exact pay-per-view? Why would you do that? And on top of that, why would you not push the WWE Network? Obviously, they're getting ready to announce that they're going to have pay-per-views going to ESPN Plus. And this is just the way to start this. This also helps ESPN because outside of the NFL free agency, ESPN doesn't have any sports to highlight. They have no sports to talk about. They have nothing. Only thing they have to talk about is signings, trades, Tom Brady going to Tampa Bay, Todd Gurley going to the Atlanta Falcons after being released by the Rams, and so on and so forth. They have nothing else. So they get WrestleMania, and for 4 hours, from 7 to midnight or so, they get to have content for their channel, or ESPN will drop out. What else can you say? I also know that ESPN is going to be doing a marathon of UFC, I believe, today as well. I could be wrong. It's a crazy time. WWE, Vince McMahon, I can see why he wants to do it. He wants to be the last one standing. Will he be, as I mentioned, after UFC canceled the latest 3 shows, they're going to do one in about 3 weeks or so, UFC 249, I believe is what they said. Who was the last one standing? Who is going to be the last one standing? Will it be AEW? Will it be WWE? Honestly, if it's up to the local governments, it won't be either one of their decisions. If there is a statewide quarantine for 2 weeks, WWE saw this coming, knew that this might be a factor, and that's why they're taping weeks in advance. They should have been doing that last week. This past Friday should have been taped. This past Monday should have been taped. But no, they wanted to do live. Well, SmackDown is going to be taped over the next few days, and then Raw is going to be taped over the next few days, and then WrestleMania is going to be taped over the next few days. As I said, they could take Thursday and Friday, tape WrestleMania, and put it in any order they want. They could start at 8 o'clock. Bring in the first 2 matches, have those matches happen, then shuttle those guys out, wait an hour or so, then shuttle in the next 3 matches, and then, so on and so forth. So you're not having 20 people there at the same time. No Andre the Giant or Women's Battle Royal this year because of the circumstances. You couldn't have 30 women or 30 men in a Battle Royal. You could do 5 if you wanted to, have a 5 men and 5 women Battle Royal if you want to keep those Rumbles alive, even though that would be stupid. There is honestly no benefit outside of Roman Reigns winning the Universal title in front of nobody, so he's not getting heavily booed, having these cringe promos against this guy, heavily booed. WWE needs to think about this shit. WWE, for all we know, for all we know, and this is the thing that Vince McMahon needs to realize, we could go into WrestleMania 36, Night 1, and that bombs so badly that Vince McMahon goes, that was awful. Or he tapes all 16 hours or so of WrestleMania, realizes this was a really bad idea, and he doesn't want this to happen because WrestleMania is being taped this week. Between now and next Friday, WrestleMania, Raw, and SmackDown leading into WrestleMania will be taped. They still have a full another week after that. If Vince McMahon feels like this WrestleMania pre-tape shit isn't going to fly, they could postpone it between now and April 3rd. They have another week, a little under 2 weeks. Anything can happen. Vince McMahon could literally say, you know what? I'm not liking how WrestleMania turned out on tape. So we're going to cancel everything that we just did. Everything that we did on these two things. And we're going to postpone WrestleMania. And we'll have to go. We'll announce that WrestleMania is being postponed. And WrestleMania will happen in the foreseeable future. In June, July, August, somewhere WrestleMania will take place, but it will not happen it will not happen on the 4th and the 5th. And hopefully that's the case because, yes, a lot of people want to see WrestleMania. A lot of people want to go to WrestleMania. I haven't been to WrestleMania. I don't want to go to WrestleMania because, honestly, I haven't been to wrestling events. I have not been live into a wrestling event or live at one of those things because I don't do well with crowds. I don't. I don't know. I just don't do, like, if I'm going to the mall and it's packed, that's one thing. If I'm working and it's packed, that's one thing. But if I'm trying to be in a sporting event type thing, I used to get fidgety when I was going, like, football games. Football games when I was in high school, I would stand out near the overpass area. I wouldn't sit in the crowd because I just can't do it. I couldn't do it. And no, I don't want to be in a press box. It's probably the only way I would ever go to one of these things if I had a VIP package to a press box where I'm by myself. I just don't do well with crowds. I haven't been to a local indie because of that, which there's no local indie near my hometown because, we are almost out in the middle of nowhere. But WWE just needs to learn that this is not the time to have WrestleMania this year. They want to have those crowd moments. They want to hear when Drew McIntyre hits that Claymore and goes 1, 2, 3 over Brock Lesnar. The crowd erupts in jubilation because somebody who has been working years, over a decade, almost a decade and a half, to get to this moment, gets his WrestleMania moment, and it's taken away from him because of things outside of Vince McMahon's control. Vince McMahon is somebody who has this philosophy that he doesn't believe in getting sick. Vince McMahon doesn't believe this shit. More than others saying. He doesn't believe that sickness is a real thing and doesn't like sneezing, doesn't like any of that shit. So that's why if Vince McMahon had it his way, WrestleMania 36 would be happening in Raymond James Stadium as advertised with the doors open to everybody. If Vince McMahon had his way, Raymond James Stadium would be hosting WrestleMania, but guess what? He doesn't get his fucking way. This isn't one of those times that Vince McMahon gets his way. WrestleMania is going to be this is going to be the absolute worst. There is nothing between now and WrestleMania, minus a fucking miracle where all this shit ends at the end on March 30th. If this all ends on March 30th or 31st and all of it cleared up and all of it just went away like that, that is the only saving grace that Vince McMahon could have to get WrestleMania to where he wants it. Would that mean we'd go back to Raymond James Stadium? No. But it would definitely be able to be in the Performance Center with a crowd, which would be way better than doing it taped and with no crowd. This is not going to be WrestleMania. This is PC Mania. This is PC Mania And Vince McMahon is going to learn a hard lesson that this show is going to fucking suck. Nobody's going to watch it because we're all going to know the results beforehand. We're all going to know what's going to happen on Raw. We're all going to know what's going to happen on SmackDown over the next 2 weeks. And we're all going to know what's going to happen over those 2 nights at WrestleMania. And honestly, I don't even know if anybody's going to want to review the thing. This is supposed to be, and content creators are missing out too. This is going to be one of those things that we are content creators. There are content creators who go out there and we like WrestleMania outside of me, but for the bigger ones, content creators get a lot of traffic for this night, for WrestleMania. That traffic's not going to be there because nobody's going to want to watch WrestleMania, so nobody's going to care. Independent wrestlers, like Brian Zane was going to be down there. He'd probably do a bunch of interviews with talent that he hasn't interviewed before. Guess what? That content is out the window. Other ones, like Chris Van Vliet, does interviews with people at WrestleCon. Guess what? All that content is out the window. Others who go down there, What Culture, Cultaholic, Wrestle Talk, if they go to Tampa Bay to get content for their channels, that is out the window. This hurts more than WWE. This WWE has got so much capital that they don't even have to worry. They're going to lose money. Yes, they're going to lose $20 million on this investment, but that is chump change to Vince McMahon. That is it. Vince McMahon has got to learn that there is more to doing this than anything else. And the fact that he's just going to go out there and make people wrestle for WrestleMania is just ridiculous. So, I don't know what else to say. This is going to be the worst. You can't even say WrestleMania season. You can't. You can't say the road to WrestleMania, the road to WrestleMania season. WrestleMania season, the road to WrestleMania was canceled 2 weeks ago. Two Wednesdays ago. When all this went down, when the United States decided to go into the biggest mass panic ever, WrestleMania season and road to WrestleMania was canceled. So let me know what you think of everything I talked about. Braun Strowman is a dumbass. I hope that if you're a fan of an independent wrestler, you know who they are, or you want to support any independent wrestler that Brian Zane and others shout out on their channels, go to their shops and buy something from them. It'll help them pay the bills. It'll help them become better for themselves. Just go do that and help them out. But I'm getting out of here. Hit that subscribe button. Comment down below. Like or dislike this video. Find me on the Twitter at The France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/The France Club. I've been streaming on there recently again through my phone, which is always fun. Go find me on Instagram, which I got to get on here as well, at The France Club. And I will see you guys tomorrow for what should be a taped edition of Monday Night Raw, and what should probably be a boring one, too. Until then, my name is The France, and I'll see you guys later.